Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk about the shots to JFK and Governor Connally. And I want to show some more evidence and go into a little bit more detail and talk about this so people can understand more when it comes to the JFK assassination. Now, as I point out in my videos and in my research, there was 4 locations with 5 gunmen. However, one of the gunmen only took distraction shots that day. The other 4 gunmen actually took shots at JFK or Governor Connally, and I'm going to point this out in this episode right here. As I pointed out, and also have as well, photographic evidence of the gunmen and their locations, as you see right here, and the shots they fired from those locations, and other evidence and stuff to back that up. And also got my time frames that I've done that shows, when each shot occurred and all that. I want to pull this video up, this image up right here. As you see here, again, a lot more information that we can actually get from this when we study and we place everything back in its position and we start studying it, we start analyzing it, and we get a lot more information as well. That there was time in between these shots for people to take aim. Now, because remember, one big factor that they keep on pulling up, there's no way that Oswald could fire 3 shots within a total of 6 seconds because he would have to reload and then take aim again and stuff, and they got to have seconds in between to calm down and take their shots and everything else. But as I show you, and I found there was actually more gunmen there that day, and there was more shots taken that day. But we're going to look at this right here for a moment, and I want to show you something. Now, if you look at these shots, okay, now remember, JFK was only shot 4 times, Governor Connally was shot twice. So that's a total of 6 shots. Total that day, 6 shots. Just to JFK and Governor Connally. That's not including distraction shots. We're not going to talk about them. When you place these frames back into their locations when it was filmed at that time, as you see right here, which I'm going to zoom in. First, let me show you. We have the gunman on the 2nd floor of the county records building. We have Lee Harvey Oswald on the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository. And then we have the 2 gunmen inside of shelter number 3. But now let's go ahead and zoom in. As you see, I put the frames in the location where they was taken at that time. And then we have the time frames right here beside it. And as you see, there was some brief moments in between each one of these shots when they occurred. Like if you look at this one right here, between shots, shot number 1 was taken at 7.16 seconds. That's from starting point right here, as I point out, as in a Zapruder film, starting with frame 133. This is frame 224 in this location right here. 7.16 seconds is when the first shot rang out. Then we have, the second shot in frame 229, which was 7.58 seconds, which is almost about 0.42 seconds in between these 2 shots. However, they're coming from 2 different locations because shot number 1 came from Texas School Book Depository on the 6th floor. Oswald took that shot. And that second shot came from the gunman on the 2nd floor of the county records building. Now, when the third shot was taken, that was right in this location here, that was to Governor Connally as he was looking off to his right. That was taken by frame 244 in the Zapruder film, or 245. But that puts it at 8.71 seconds. So see, we got a time gap in between frames 229 and 244. Look how much of a time gap is in between there. Now, when you're talking seconds, it don't sound like that long. But when you look at it in this angle and placing everything back in position, it's a pretty long time. So this gunman here on the 2nd floor of the county records building took the first shot. His first shot was to JFK in the back of JFK's head. His second shot was taken to Governor Connally when he was looking off to his right. Now, after he took his shot to Governor Connally, he didn't take more shots. He did take 2 more distraction shots, but we're just talking about the shots that was taken to JFK and Governor Connally. After he took his first shot, when Oswald took his first shot to JFK, frame 224, then a gunman on the 2nd floor county records building took his shot to JFK and then to Governor Connally, so he knew he had both of them shot at that point. So he didn't bother taken aim to take any more shots at JFK or Governor Connally. Now we have frame 313, which is in this location right here, and frame 330. Now, as you see, between this shot here and this shot here, okay, there is a total of almost 6 seconds in between the third shot and the fourth shot. Okay, so they have plenty of time. Now, if you look at even Oswald, we're going to look at Oswald for a moment. Oswald's location. Now, from the first shot he took and to the shot right here where he took shot number 5, you see the time gaps in between here, 7.16 and 14.6. So he has almost 7 seconds in between the two shots that he fired, because he fired shot number 1 and shot number 5. So he had enough time to take a shot, which is shot number 1, reload, take a break for just a second, re-aim, and take another shot. So see, a lot of information we can pull from this now once we place everything back in its place. Now we know that Oswald had the 7 seconds, almost 7 seconds in between the two shots he took. Now remember, this gunman here on the second floor of the County Records building, he only took 2 shots. One shot to JFK right here in frame 229, and one shot to Governor Connally in frame 244. No more shots he was taking aim at Governor Connally in the morning. He was not taking more aim at JFK. However, Oswald did take another aim at JFK because he knew that his first shot must not struck him too well because JFK was still sitting up. But we know why JFK was still sitting up. 1, he had a back brace on, and 2, Mrs. Kennedy was all at this point was actually holding him up as well. So with him still sitting up, Oswald had to take another shot. Excuse me. So he takes his aim again. Then he goes ahead and takes his shot at the same time as the gunman inside shelter number 3 takes his shot. Because remember, now I'm going to point out something else after we get done here. So when they both take their shots at the same time, JFK was struck in the right side of the head. His head opens up. Then Oswald's bullet finally struck the back of JFK's head, but it passed through the opening and struck inside the windshield. Then, if you see right here, then we have a big pause again for from 14.6 seconds when the fatal headshot happened and Oswald's shot happened. Then we have a big pause again for almost 6 seconds. Actually, it was 6 seconds, 81 seconds. So it's 6.81 81 seconds between that pause before that 6th shot was taken to Governor Connally. However, 6th shot and 7th shot was taken at the same time. That was the curb shot to James Tagg. But again, I'm pointing out, we're just talking about the shots of JFK and Governor Connally. But you see how much of a gap in between there. Now remember, after shot number 5, JFK's head's already opened up. Then Oswald struck the back of JFK's head. That bullet passes through. So Oswald thinks he's already killed JFK, so he stops firing at that point. Oswald only had his 2 shots that day. Oops, something happened here. Let's pull this back up. Don't know what happened. But anyway, Oswald, there we go again. What happened? Why is it moving on its own? I'll put it over here maybe. Something's doing with it. My computer's starting to mess up. Anyway, like I said, Oswald only took 2 shots that day. And then we got the gunman on the second floor, took 2 shots, 1 shot to JFK, 1 shot to Governor Connally. Then we got the 2 gunmen inside shelter number 3, which took 1 shot each, 1 to JFK, 1 to Governor Connally. And as I point out, there was a time gaps in between these. But we had to take this into consideration too, which we also will look at this. If you look at the gunman inside, let's go with the Texas School, the County Records Building, second floor County Records Building. We'll take a look at him for a moment. Okay, in between his 2 shots, he had time because remember, he only took 1 shot to JFK, then a 2nd shot to Governor Connally. That was it. So he stops taking his shots at this point. So he wasn't taking aim no more for anything else, but he was taking aim, getting ready for distraction shots if he had taken, if there was shots fired from down here. So we don't have to worry about this keep on jumping out on us. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. All right, now when Oswald took his first shot, as you see here, we had a time gaps in between his shots. He took his first shot, struck JFK here. Then he had all this time from this point to this point here to take another aim and shoot at JFK as well again. So he had a long time period in between that shot, just like this gunman here. Remember, two gunmen inside shelter number 3 only took one shot each. So the gunman on the inside of the shelter had plenty of time to line up his shot because he had it from this view. We're looking at this view, and you see the Simmons Freeway sign here. He actually had from this point here all the way to this point here. So he had a total of almost 13 seconds to take his aim and take his shot. Same as this gunman here. When he came around, he had a total of 6 seconds to aim for his shot to Governor Connally and take that one shot. Because remember, these guys only shot one shot each at this point. Just like when I'll point out, the gunman up here on the second floor County Rex building took 2 shots that made contact with JFK and Governor Connally. He stopped firing his shots at that point. Oswald took 2 shots, but he shot JFK in the back, and then JFK in the back of the head right here. So he had a long period of time between his shots. Then we have the gunman inside shelter number 3, which only took 1 shot each. So they had a long time. When you put it in perspective and you look at it, you will see that they actually had a long time to take their aim and take shots to JFK and Governor Connally, as I point out here. Now, a lot of people sit there and say, well, how could they take a shot from this location on that location that quick? Like they're sitting there pointing at the finger at Oswald. 3 shots in a total of 6 seconds. There's no possible way. This is what researchers study. But we got to look outside the box and say, hey, wait a minute. What if he did not take those 3 shots? Because for a gunman aiming and trying to assassinate JFK or even Governor Connally at that point would say, hey, why would I want to shoot off range, which is all the way down here to the curb? Okay, why would I take a shot there? Because just like other people wants to sit there and put in a research and say, well, there was a shot fired here at the curb, and there was a shot fired in the street, and there was a shot. You know what? When you make shots like that, okay, you're giving somebody a warning. And that'd be a sloppy assassin's way of doing things. Because an assassin was not going to take those shots and have missed shots in between any of his shots at that point, because any missed shot will warn somebody, and it would actually get that person out of the gunman's view or the line of fire real fast, because that's why they waited until they went down Houston Street. If Oswald started taking shots on Houston Street, he wouldn't. The gunman wouldn't have no view from the second floor of the County Rex building or the rooftop of the County Rex building or the gunman inside shelter number 3. They wouldn't have that chance to aim up their shots as well. This is why they waited till a certain point when they got on Elm Street, when JFK and Governor Connally was in plain sight of all the gunmen. Not just one, but all the gunmen. Because if they're going to fire shots and have missed shots here, missed shots there, as people once point out, JFK's car being shot up, or the street being shot up, or curbs are being hit, and everything else, that's a lot of that's a lot of shots. That's warning. That's I call warning shots. They would have took out JFK a long time ago. They would have had JFK gone, and no one would have had time to take no aim for no shots or anything else to JFK or Governor Connally. You see what I'm saying? So the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots make contact. No distraction shots to no curb or anything in the surroundings or anything didn't happen until after Governor Connally was shot. After Governor Connally was shot, then we have the curb shot at the same time Governor Connally was shot right here at this point. We have the shots to the manhole cover. We have the shots to the grass area. We have the shots to the steps. And we have the shot to the lamppost, the sign on lamppost. Them distraction shots didn't occur until after JFK was shot and Governor Connally was shot. But other researchers want to point out these facts. Saying this is a fact right here. There was a shot to hit the street. There was a shot to hit the curb. But they have no evidence to prove it. They have nothing to show for it. All they got is a story to tell. That's all they have. That's all they always had, was a story to tell. But when you look at it this way, and you line up the shots, and you place the shots back in their place, and order of the shots, and time them shots were taken, you're going to see that the first 6 shots that was taken that day was aimed at JFK and Governor Connally before any distraction shots were taken. That's how I knew they was distraction shots, because they wasn't taken before or in between. They was taken after. All distraction shots were taken after. They don't take no distraction shots during or before, during. They always wait till after. That's how I knew they was distraction shots, because they wasn't concentrating on JFK or Governor Connally anymore, because they already both been shot. Governor Connally was already shot twice. JFK was already shot 4 times, once in the back, 3 times in the head. So they know they had their job done. They knew they was that part of the assassination was done. So the next part was for these 2 gunmen up here, second floor of the county records building and rooftop county records building. That's when they start taking their distraction shots. So these 2 gunmen right here can get away. But like I said, when we look at this, when we put this back in perspective, when we look at this and we place this back in order of where JFK's limo was at the time he was shot, and we could see, and we put the time frames with it and stuff, we could see there was plenty of time for these gunmen to take aim and take their shots. They didn't have, we're not going to sit there and keep on going back to that 3-shot Oswald. Oswald took 3 shots, took him in 6 seconds, and we're going to go with that, because that's not true. Oswald only took 2 shots that day, and he had a time period of 7 seconds in between his 2 shots. As I point out here, we could base this on photographic evidence, we could base this on angles of the shots, and we could base this on the time frames, and we could base this on the distance of when we put everything back in order, back in location where it was, when it first occurred. So Oswald did have time to take his 2 shots. This gunman here took 1 shot to JFK, 1 shot to Governor Connally. He stops taking his shots at both of them, because he knew he had a headshot to JFK, and he knew he shot Governor Connally. So he was going to stop taking his shots. Oswald, okay, took his first shot, but he's paying more attention to what he's doing, because remember, he's inside that building there. He's going to take another aim to JFK to be on the safe side. So he's got to take a safe shot. And at the same time, these gunmen down here were also lined up for their shots to JFK and Governor Connally. So when he took his shot, Oswald took his shot at the same time, but this gunman here was being closer. That's when his bullet made contact first, then Oswald's bullet made contact. So now Oswald stops firing, because he's seen JFK's head explode open. So now he's taking credit for that shot to himself. So he's taking that fatal headshot. So he's going to stop firing. As you notice, no more shots, as I point out in my research, no more shots came from the 6th floor Texas School Book Depository, only the 2. The gunman inside of shelter number 3 already took his shot, so he knew he took the kill shot to JFK, the headshot, the fatal headshot. So he didn't take aim no more as well. But the second gunman knew that Governor Connally was still moving around, so he had to come around and take his shot to Governor Connally. And then when Governor Connally fell over into his wife's lap, they knew to stop. But however, the gunman on the rooftop of the county records building, then he starts taking distraction shots, because he knew when 2 shots were fired from here, he had to take distraction shots so people can run up, so these 2 gunmen can get away. But I wanted to point this out and show people that there's more information, there's more evidence. When you place everything back in order, we could see that the assassins really did had a long period of time to take their shots, take their aim, and take their shots, okay? Just like Oswald, he did have time to take 2 shots, because he has 7 seconds to take both of them shots. As I point out here, we can base this on time frames and place the vehicle back in its location when these shots occurred. As I point out, the gunman on the rooftop, on the 2nd floor county records building, he took 1 shot to JFK, 1 shot to Governor Connally. He stops taking his shots. After Oswald took both his shots to JFK, he stops taking shots. He didn't even bother taking aim at Governor Connally, because Governor Connally was actually a little bit more further down then. So I guess he just decided, because remember, we got to keep this in mind, they found a bullet still in the chamber of the rifle. So he had to reload for a 3rd shot. Okay, so we had to keep that in mind as well. Then we had the gunman on a grassy knoll there, shelter number 3, took 1 shot each, so they had plenty of time to take their shots, as I point out here. He had, the gunman on the inside had over 13 seconds to take aim and take his shot. And then the second gunman had over 6 seconds to take aim and take his shot. Remember, he's only taking one shot in 6 seconds. The gunman inside of shelter number 3's got 13 seconds to take his shot. Oswald had seven, uh, 7 seconds from this point here, starting point, to this point here, to take his shot. Then he had another 7 seconds in between that shot and this shot to take another shot. So we have a total of 14 seconds that Oswald had to take 2 shots, not 7 seconds. I mean 6 seconds of 3 shots. It's 14 seconds and 2 shots. And like I said, the gunman inside shelter number 3 had 13 seconds to take his shot. The second gunman has 6 seconds to take his shot. And this gunman here, all right, he had over 7 seconds to take his first shot to JFK. And he had over a second, 1.20 of a second to take a second shot to Governor Connally. So they had plenty of time to take their shots and take aim and everything else. So now at this point, we do know that the gunman did had plenty of time to take their shots. Don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about it. Share this video and my other videos and this information with others on social medias, Facebook, Twitter accounts, Vine. It doesn't matter. Post it all over. Thank you, and you have a pleasant day.